Welcome to Tackle Fanatics TV.
So, hi all, hi guys, here we are in this beautiful surrounding. We are in the central France, Étang de la Livardière. Very beautiful lake. Is a old gravel pit inside a very big estate property. I teamed up together with the other guys of the team, Rick, Tony and Felix, to actually doing our video as we do every year, but mostly to do the last check and test on many new products, like new rod I'm using now, new swingers, rod pod, and most important of everything, all the last meter range. We have new hooks, new hook links, all the accessories to test, and I cannot ask for a better place than this, because you see it's a really big water, it's around 40 hectares lake, and it's just full of weed. So we have pretty tough condition actually going on for the whole week, but for sure will be a good test. After this, I think we are ready to go. So, after my first run on the boat, my rods are just in place now. I'm fishing 3 totally different spots, and we will do our best in the next days. We'll keep you updated on what is going on, and especially at the end of the week we will see how all the last meter range will react to this tough fishing condition. Stay tuned.
Okay, so here we are, a true team effort this
Yes.
one, Enrico. Basically, I got caught short, call of nature, and Enrico's literally 5 yards away from me. And we're fishing on a point back to back, so I said to Enrico, just watch my rods, buddy, and no sooner was I up there in the toilets and, well, the rod screamed off.
And I had the lucky to enjoy the first fish.
Yeah, definitely.
The fight of the first fish of the trip.
So,
it's on
thanks
the picture now.
ever so much for that, Enrico. It's a stunning fish, and
That
hopefully,
was my fun. That was my pleasure.
hopefully this is going to be the first one of many.
Yeah.
So yeah, what a gorgeous fish. Well, this is the second one from the baited spot. Basically where I did my fish yesterday. I was having a call on nature and my good friend Enrico picked my rods up for me, so we got the rods back out yesterday and got woken up with this one this morning. I also had one in the night on the long range island rod, and we'll have a look at that one shortly. But what a way to get woken up in the morning. A stunning French common carp. Okay, so this is my wake up call, literally at first light this morning, on the rod that I boated out to the island. I mean, this one is probably 260 yards out. There's a nice overhanging tree off the island, so I rode it out last night. Basically dropped the rig. I found a lovely gravel clear spot, and maybe, I don't know, half a kilo of boilies over the top. So this is my rewards for the effort of that one. And to be honest, I couldn't wake the other guys up this morning to give me a hand. We'd been travelling so much for the past 2-3 days, and it took its toll. But so lucky enough, with a new last meter lead clip, it did exactly what I wanted to do. It dumped the lead on the take, and the fish stayed on the surface all the way in 260 yards. So it's stayed above the weed, and yeah, very welcomed, very welcomed. So we're going to get this little chap back, and we'll get the rods back out.
Hi guys, so this is Enrico Swim. I'm fishing pack number 7 together with Rick. I'm fishing the left side of Rick, and I'm actually the last one on the left between all of us 4. You see, I have a pretty open space in front of me, but actually it's not really open because I have solid weed till 80 meters out. And as I was showing previously, I'm fishing just purely with 20 millimeters pop up and a big stick of crushed boilie, just to be sure that it arrive on the bottom safe without being tangled on the weed. The only thing different I'm doing from all the other guys, with my left rod I can reach a pretty deep area, which is around 2.4 meter, which is a clean area with weed all around. And I'm fishing with a zig rig over there. I had a sturgeon last night biting on a, it was not faulty hooked, he'd been biting on the zig. So I decided, and I had also 2 more bites on this rod, so I decided to keep going on and keep on trying. But yeah, as you see, this island over there is actually dividing my swim to Rick's swim, and I have a rod just beside, just on the left side on the island is in less than 1 meter of water, and then one in front of me. I found some clear spot previously, but the problem is that I found out this morning when I was out with my boat that the weed is moving now. Probably it's because now the temperature is cooling down, it's almost the end of the season, and the spot that I marked yesterday and 2 days ago that was clean, it was just solid weed today. So before tonight I'm gonna recast the rod, the middle rod, and I see what to do. Probably I will just have to find a brand new spot. But so far we had activity. I had a really good mirror carp last night. Rick had some good fish, so yeah, all is good. We try our best. happened. I left the swim for a few minutes for some natural reason, let's say. And but luckily Tony was taking care of my rod, so we had a good run on the rod fishing just in front of the swim in a very shallow area on a single 20mm pop-up, and Tony luckily enjoyed the fight.
I didn't feel too guilty because I helped you put the rod out.
No, that's fine.
So.
we are a team. We are a team
that's
anyway.
All team, yeah.
So
stunning fight, good fight.
Let's get some picture together
On the
and
new
put it back on the
C3,
water.
new C3 rods, that was one hell of a fight. Really enjoyed that. It was great.
Beautiful fish.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Man. Very welcome. So this is the rig I used for this nice mirror carp that Tony have landed for me. It's a short trace of spectrum fluorocarbon rigged up with a Super Snake hook link XC7 hook, blowback rigged on a pop-up, maybe 7 cm from the bottom. Just using a small drop shape ring to have this blowback effect, and of course shrink too. There's so much weed when we are fishing. I use a big stick mix just to protect the hook in case I drop it too close to some weed bed. And because I'm using the tungsten putty down here, what I like to do, I just hang the hook on the side, like so.
Right then, it's a beautiful morning. Coolest night last night, which is great. And
Day 3.
day 3, yeah. It's not been easy. Few fish lost in the weed. It's a struggle, but Rick's been having a few, and he's just going to talk through his rig and explain the reasons why and everything else.
Yeah, well, I'm really impressed that you know, we're quite fortunate to be in the positions where we are testing the products before, you know, you guys get to use these things, and we come to these big fish lakes to put the gear through its tests in extreme conditions. So yeah, what's been working for me is well, basically this is my setup. I've got the new last meter lead clip. Now this is the one with the pin, so I can actually fix the lead clip in place. The tail rubber just right on the last notch there, so I'm dumping the lead on the tape because of the weed. And you know, well, this rod in particular was a rod that I've been boating out maybe 260 yards, and straight away, you know, it's thick weed to a clear spot the other side of it. Dumped the lead and the fish was up on the surface all the way in, you know, and I managed to play it from the bank, which was good, you know. So yeah, and then we'll go down to, I use a multi-clip and one of our rig loops. Then that's down to 30-pound Gladio hook link with our new XC7 hook. Really impressed with these hooks, you know, in these conditions. These are staying ultra sharp and so strong as well. It's not lost any shape or anything like that, you know. So we're not just bringing a carp in, we're bringing quite a bit of weed in with these fish as well. So these components are all making up the end result, which is a fish on the bank. So really impressed. Well, as Tony said, you know, we're 3 days in now, and the weather has been so hot, and it's really hot, uncomfortably hot. You know, those guys, when we're sat fishing, we're in the shade, and it's too hot to be out in the sun. And like Tony said as well, last night the temperature did dip big time, and the fish activity come darkness was, well, it's the best we'd ever seen so
it's
far.
a lot more fish showing.
We had fish crashing, liners through the night as well. So yeah, we managed to sneak a few fish out moments ago, and we've got those waiting in the landing nets for your salvo to photograph. So should we have a look at the
Let's
fish?
get on with that.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
This one caught using the new last meter terminal range, the XC7 hooks. Tipped off with one of my favourites, the Trusty Baits white pop up and a crab boilie, and the new last meter lead clip. Discharging the lead on the take allowed me to play this fish and enjoy the fight all the way to the bank from over 260 yards away. And wow, what a fish, what a fish. And to be caught this time in the morning, I don't care if I don't catch another fish today. Okay, this is one little thing that I've been doing to my baits. Basically, you know, it might be a little edge, I don't know, but it seems to be working and it's putting me fish on the bank. Within 24 hours of fishing here, you know, I was aware that there was a few crayfish in here and they were nipping away at the baits. So straight away I've got my fresh freezer bait out. I've been drying it out in the sun, and it's at the stage now where it's just starting to release all the salts and stuff like that, but it's already quite hard. You know, I cannot break these with my fingers anymore. So to make them more appealing, and obviously for baiting up and stuff like that, what I tend to do is I take one of the glugs. Now this is a glycerol based glug. Basically I'm going to give all the baits a nice coating, not absolutely soak them, but coated so they're all just like wet to touch. And then I'm going to add a really good high quality food oil as well. This is one of the fish oils, the amino oils from Prologic. And basically I'll leave that in there on the baits because they're already dehydrated. They're going to take this back in already hard, and it makes them, especially with the glycerol in the bait soak, it's going to make them a lot tougher and less resilient for the crays. So all we do is give the baits a general good lashing of this. And a bit of the oil as well. And give it a good stir around. So as you can see there, they're not absolutely swimming in the liquid. They've just had a wet glug coat. And that's all that you're looking for, is that they're looking almost wet to touch. And through the day I'll just leave those in there. From time to time I'll give them a quick stir around, and eventually by the time to come bait it up this afternoon, the boilers will have taken all that back in and it makes them more appealing. And obviously when they're out in the lake, this is the first food signals that's coming off the bait, so they're starting to release the flavours into the swim already. And with the oils, you know, should a fish disturb the baits, I'll get a good oil leakage as well. So if a fish is passing over the top, you know, they're going to pick up on the oils and hopefully home in on my hook bait down at the bottom. Just one little edge, but it seems to be working for me here. Well, as you can see, Henry's into a fine fish. Now the thing is with this lake, it's quite weedy and it has weeded him up, so he's going out to see it. We had to take precautions there and make sure he got his life jacket on. But Henry's quite experienced at doing this sort of thing. They do this style of fishing by about quite a lot across Europe.
Alright. Hello.
Wow. Nice. Oh, look at this.
Chunk.
So this was the result of my last trip with the boat. I had a nice ride during the night. Short but very intense fight. This fish was caught on a single 20mm pop-up in just a bit more than a meter depth, in a very hard bottom, surrounded all over from big weed beds. It's the second fish actually, the second run this day, today in that place.
On that rod.
And I really cannot ask for any better. Look at this fish.
Yeah, it's been tricky going under Henry, and to be fair, 2 runs, you know, especially one in the day, because everyone else is not catching during the day, unless it's early morning.
What a fish. It's just pristine, it's perfect.
It is.
Look at this.
But you said the new XC7 again?
Yeah.
You know,
on
it's
a combi link.
Yeah. Well, this is what it's about, mate. This is why we're testing, isn't it?
Well, yeah. And I mean, getting a fish like this out of so many weed, you know, is just a perfect hook hold. No damage on the mouth, it was just on the bottom jaw. Perfect. Cannot really ask for any better. Beautiful. This fish already made my week, you know. So this was the rig I used for this last catch, and actually even for the previous one. It's just one of the our new lead clip with a pin to block the lead, but I normally just fit the very first 2mm, so very easy to lose the lead. Combi link XC7 hook, just a smaller size, because these are size 2. I'm doing size 4 now, with a blowback system and a shrink tube. And then just a single 20mm pop-up. And to be sure it doesn't get everything ruined by the weed, just put a big stick that I prepared previously. The banana. And for this is very easy. A quick change swivel. Just have to remove the sleeve for a second. And what I do is I have the tungsten putty here and just fix the hook. Just have to put back the anti-tangle sleeve. Voila. Just put the lead.
Enrico's just had the fish and he's taken his rod back out, and while he is positioning his other rod, then this one screamed off, so I've happily picked it up for him, just waiting for him to get back now so we can take over. At the end of the day it is Enrico's fish.
Thank you, Rick.
So I've just got it under control for you.
You can just hand me the landing net. Then go straight with it out of the boat. Alright, that's right. Just because of that, you saw the wall of. Oh, landing net. I'm just sorry because it would have been cool for the camera.
Yeah.
I never seen a sturgeon caught on a zig.
Okay.
And it was not faulty hooked. I saw it came on the surface, it was just stuck into the weed. Then I managed to get it on the surface and it was just properly hooked on the side. And then it just started and then it went on a tree, on a hanging tree on the water. And then I hold it, but then I was a little bit, dancing on the boat. And then actually I don't know if he have just snapped the line or just a hook pull. I still don't know. Oh, I snapped the line.
No, you zigzag, you can see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, still there.
Yeah. Amazing.
So yeah, would have been cool.
Yeah,
Sturgeon on a zig. I normally used to catch strange stuff on a zig. You remember in Czech Republic?
Yeah, I do remember, mate.
Anyway.
So there we go, a nearly leather carp, if it's not for 1, 2, 3, 4 scales. down on its tail there. Again caught using the new last meter terminal range, the awesome XC7 hook. This is my long range rod off the island, over 200 yards away, and took my snowman presentation. A lovely conditioned, nearly a leather, absolutely stunning fish. So we'll get this one back and see if we can get that rod back out and catch some more.
With the rest of the team, Felix, Enrico and Rick Johnson and myself. I've moved spots because the fish don't seem to be playing ball closer in. I've seen some fish right across the other side of the lake, and what I want to do is I'll just go through the rigs and the rig changes I've made. And the one thing with we've changed in the last meter, we've got a new range of last meter products coming out for 2016, and part of the range is we've got chod hooks coming out. Now, I'm not a fan of chods. I'm more of a supple hinge rig. In one degree, people say it is a chod because you're using the same boom, and also I use an XC2 hook. I find it sits more aggressively. So what I'll do is I'll tie the rig and show you, and then you can make up your own mind. It's just one of those things, and a lot of people say, well, how are you going to get stiff filament through the eye because it's only a small eye? And I'll show you a neat little trick which someone showed me, a very good friend of mine showed me, how to get it through. You only have to go through twice, and you can use any hook of your choice then, really, if you've got a preference. So I'll tie that rig and show you the rig now. But what I'll quickly show you is the difference between obviously the two hooks, the chod hook and the thing. So obviously that's the XC2, long shank, and that's a chod, wide gape. But what I find with this is there's more hooks showing on the rig with a pop-up above. And I say you'll notice it once I've tied the rig. Right, in the range as well, we've obviously got some super stiff filament. With this stuff, I find it's got fantastic memory. I've been using it for a while. When I'm steaming at an angle, even steaming a loop on it and casting a bag out, I still find it keeps its shape. Which to me, a lot of the time I've been using other companies' stuff, and it seems to straighten out. There's been a lot of development gone into this, and I say I'm over the moon with it. What I'll do is I'll use the 26 because it's quite weedy out there, and even though it's a short boom, I still want it to be quite abrasive resistance. It's all right. I need these, otherwise we won't be able to see the rig very well. Right, so what you do is grab the hook, grab the stiff filament and hold it along the shank of the hook. Lay it across the top, pinch it with the other two fingers, bring it down. Then what you do is you go 4 turns up the shank towards the eye, trap in the other mono underneath, and then back through the loop you created. Then moisten it and just pull that down, and what I'll do is pull the knot down. And what you've got is a little bit knot on there and that through there. So what you do then is you cut this, you don't need too much, it's only a short rig, and place that through the eye. And pull the knot down, just pull it up tight. So it sits like that. What I do is cut that off at a little angle. It just helps it thread through. Now, it's preference for a lot of people. Some people use bait screws. I use swivels. Great thing with that, I can tie whatever size bait on whether I want. Double bait, single bait, half and half. You can use whatever you want. You pull that tag down and just slot it through the eye again. So with that little slant on it, it goes through very easily. Just pull it down and create yourself a little D. don't want it too big, just enough, because you really want the bait to sit over the back of the hook, so you've got as much hook showing as possible. And hold that off. Can't actually leave a couple of mil. And get your light, obviously be careful doing this. And just burn the tag end over and then just melt it down. So they have your D. And obviously that will blow the boilie back. Now this is the fiddly bit now. It sells size 8 swivel. And the great thing I found with this, with the company's pop-ups I use, is that this balances out a 14 mil boilie perfectly, pop-up. But I'm not a fan of long section. It's about 1.5 inches down, and I just do an overhand knot. Obviously being a stiff material, absolutely fine. Put the big ring through, say this is the fiddliest part of it, just teasing it all through. And you want a little bit of a loop, you don't want it tight down on the swivel, you want a little bit of a loop. It just helps the whole rig move around. Just pull that down tight. Snip off the tag end. Leave a couple of mil again. My own preference, I do actually just burn it over. Just open up that little loop a little bit, just let the swivel move around. So, and the way that rig will sit will be like that. A lot of hook showing. Bit of interest on a rod. So it will literally sit like that. So there's a lot of hook showing with the pop above here. And you think a lot of time the fish come from above, it's a very aggressive hook. And I find with the chod hook, it seems to sit up a bit more like that, where this just hangs down. Right, we go on to the boom section. Now I've used the, it's new for the different colour for the range. Two-tone, dark brown and light brown. It's, I find it blends in, especially with we've got out here, it's quite a sandy bottom on the lake. Same thing, I don't commit myself to cutting the length off until I've actually tied it on here. And this is just a 4-turn grinner. You don't have to double through, it's £25 this is. And with the stiff coating, it just kicks it away all the time. So 4 turns through. Bit of spit just to tease it down. Up tight. Cut the tag end off. And this is your own preference of however you want to do, depending on what you're setting. I'm not using, we're on quite a hard bottom here, so I don't need it too long. The thing with this is just tie a figure of 8. So once, twice, and using a bait needle just makes this so much easier just to pull through, and you can see it's a figure of 8. Just pull that up tight, that'll just stop it pinching the material. And by tying that now, I'm not wasting too much of hook length material. Just run your fingers down that to straighten it out. Now that's rigging. I'll just show you a couple of baits on it just to finish it off, just so you can see how aggressive that hook is. And obviously if you're using a bigger pop-up, just put a little bit of putty on that knot, because you want all that movement. That's the one thing. If you start putting putty on here, you restrict the movement. You want the putty there. It's something to hold on to the knot as well. And this rig can be used as a wafter or a pop-up. Just lately I've been using it more as a wafter for me, especially in the UK. I use half and half, half a bottom bait, half a pop-up. It's just, I've had a lot more fish that way for some reason. So just use anything you want just to tie on, dental floss. So just pull that through, and what I'll do is I'll actually pull the boilie onto that swivel, just to push it down so it sits like that. Just a quick overhand knot. Little bait stop. Burn over those tag ends. And that's the rig. So a lot of the time I prefer it sitting like that. So as soon as the fish picks it up, that hook sats down. People fish it like that. Let's say at the moment I'm fishing it, most of the time I'm fishing it's like wafter style. So it'll sit like that, and as soon as that picks up, that is a very aggressive hook.
Okay, it's come to that quiet part of the day, mid-afternoon now, so we're going to go talk a few rig bits and stuff like that, and what we're doing. Now basically we arrived at the lake to find out that this year there's been an amazing weed growth in the lake, so we've had to change our plan that we had of the lake from information that we received talking to other anglers, you know, and trying to get the lowdown on what's going on the lake. But this year it's been extremely difficult, so all our plans of fishing these nice clean gravel spots have gone out the window, to be fair, and we've had to adapt our style of fishing to do it. Now I've been lucky enough to catch a few fish already, so we'll go through some of the rigs that I've been using, this one in particular, and tell you about some of the components that we're using. So basically what I'm fishing is, if you like, your chod style rig, but basically on a supple hinge boom. So basically I can still fish this with a lead clip, which is allowing me to drop the lead instantly and fish safe. So we'll start from the top. This is one of the new, this is the XC8 with the outturned eye, a really good, strong, very, very, very sharp hook. This is connected to our Pro Chod Mono, which is fantastic, extremely low diameter. In fact, the one I'm using at the moment is 33 pound breaking strain, and it comes in at 0.53, so it still goes, able to get it through a size 6 hook 3 times through the eye to form that D-ring, if you like, on the back of the hook there. And then that's connected to one of our new chod swivels, again an oversized swivel but kept very, very small and very strong, and that's connected to basically the boom section, which is a soft woven braid, which is our super snake. Now this again is 25 pound breaking strain, so really tough, strong gear I'm using here to deal with the ring. And then at the end of that it's connected to one of our small rig loops, so I can change rigs quite easily, and if you like, rig the changes, keep swapping about baits and stuff like that to see what's working. And that's it. Now this has been successful for me. Basically the hinged stiff rig, if you like, but made with a soft, supple boom section using our super snake. Now I'm using that because again, it's not that the bottom's choddy, it's that finding clear patches is very hard, and what we're finding, there's places where there's not so much weed and places where there's a lot of weed. So we're chucking in the places where there's not so much weed, and the idea is, with this being soft and supple, the midsection, I can balance this bait out. My lead's going through the weed, and basically this comes down, and the Super Snake is a sinking braid, but it's a woven tough braid, so that's going to come down and sit nicely on top of the weed, taking on the contours of the weed and stuff like that. And it's a very, very nice presentation, to be fair, and one that's been working. Yeah, and that's tipped off one of my white crab trusty baits pop-ups, and to be fair, it's putting fish on the bank. So look out for these new products this year coming out, tried and tested, and these have been putting fish on the bank for me. The XC7 again, found its home in the bottom jaw. It's worth having a look at the new lead clips as well. You can see that's every fish, well, the past few fish that I've had now, dump the lead on every take, which is really important when we're fishing in places like this. And it's enabled me, you know, to be fair, with the fish that I've had so far, I'm not having to use a boat to go out and land them because of the lead clip. The lead clip's doing exactly what I want it to do. Don't get me wrong, you know, as a normal fisherman, I don't want to lose the lead. But in situations like this, given the rewards that are there, chance of landing a fish or losing that lead, hey, I'll lose a lead every day for a fish like that.
So this is the rod I got 2 run yesterday, fishing with a zig. That area of the lake is pretty deep. It's like 2.3, 2.4 meters, and it's a pretty wide, clean area. surrounded by weed all around. I've been just out pre-baiting with a bit more ground bait and pellet, just to create a bit more cloud, and of course still with some boilies, because probably I will try again later today or tomorrow to fish with a normal rig. But for today, it's good sun, it's a little bit of wind, so I think it would make sense to try again with a zig. Of course I made a zig with a pretty oversized fluorocarbon. This is our Spectrum 37 pound in 0.50 millimeters, which is not really what you use normally for a zig, but there is simply too many weed out there, and I really don't want to risk to leave my hook in the mouth of a fish swimming around the lake, so better be safe than sorry.
Okay, so here we are is the result of the almost double run. As soon as I'd got one fish in the net, the other rod went. And to be fair, Felix, I have you to thank for this. Couldn't story short, me and Felix were discussing last night rigs and presentations, and Felix told me about a setup he's been using all across Europe, to having some good success. So I managed to steal one of his rigs last night, and thank you very much, Felix. It resulted in this fish. So please tell us about your little setup there that seems to be working.
Well, the thing I'm using is the Reptilian hook link and the XA5 hook with a liner and an anti-tangle sleeve out of the Prologic last meter range. It's a rig I've been using like for several years to set up. And like last month I was fishing in 3 different countries, as well in France, in Serbia and in Holland, catching everywhere, catching early spring. It's a setup for me. It works with a sinking boilie or a snowman presentation. And I gave Rick one. Sometimes you have to get lost of your religion, and that's what Rick did, and resulted in this lovely comment.
So cracking fish, and thank you very much, Felix.
You're welcome.
A very simple rig that's been working all over Europe, so why not try it?
Hi, welcome in France. I'm Felix van der Madel, the Dutch consultant for Prologic. We are filming here for new products for 2016. I'm together with Enrico, a product manager, and 2 guys from the UK, Tony and Rick. Well, the thing is, we are fishing over here. I'm fishing in this swim. Lots of weed, fishing on a distance. On the other side, like 100 meters, 120 meters, already got a bite, but I lost it in the weed. There's a lot of weed, as I can show you. Got a bunch out yesterday, and it's a tricky venue, but we already managed to get fish, so we're going to show you how, and I'm going to show you one of my rigs, and I will explain that step for step. Well, on venues like these, I like to try out new things, because there is a lot of pressure, and sometimes weird things will work out well. So the thing is, I got a setup to make a maggot clip rig, and I will show you step for step what I'm using. First, I got the anti-tangle sleeves on the rig. I got the maggot clip. These are available in different sizes, small one, medium one, and a large one. I'm gonna use the large one. Got a set of swivels, size 8, mini tail rubbers. It depends, you can use the mini tail rubbers or the anti-tangle rubbers, as I said before. But my favorite hook, the XA5 in size 4. Reptilian brand, so I can make a combi rig. And the maggots in white and in red with some kind of glitter in it. You see you got the small ones and the big ones, so you can play with that. And that's the whole setup. I'm going to show you now how it's working step by step. Starting with the reptilian. Just going to take a piece out like 30-40 centimeters. Double strip to half. As you see, it's very tough. So I got the tough part and the supple part. Just gonna make a small loop for the hair. And we don't use a stopper because we put the maggot ring into the hair. Just a small one. Bit of moist. Cut off this section. I'm going to take the XA5 hook in size 4. I'm just going to make a simple rig, combi rig. But I put the loop all up the way to the eye. So it's just getting out of the curve. A few twists. I prefer 6, 7, 8. Get it back through. Pull it tight. Well, as you can see, it's a little loop. But, and I attach the maggot ring under it. So I still got a bit of space left between the hook and the maggot clip. I think I need that because if it's too close, it won't hook properly. I do that same with bowlies, so it works. So never change a winning tactic. On the other hand, I also make a loop. This way you can choose to attach it to the main line, to the LED system, cut it off. So you can attach it loop to loop, or you can use a swivel. Again, swivel goes through it, back to the loop. You can attach it like this in a LED clip or in an inline LED. So we got a setup. That's one. I'm gonna leave that here. As you can see, I don't use the anti-tangle rubber or the little sleeve. You can do that if you want to, if you got a more supple rig material. But because this is combi rig, it's very stiff here, so I don't use it, I don't need it. It's tough enough, it's resistant enough. So, get the maggot clip, open it. Of course we are now using plastic maggots. Just slice them up. You can combine it, of course, with live maggots as well. Okay, you can see the ring full, the maggot clip, white and red ones. Gonna attach it to the rig right now. So just organize them a bit, that the maggot clip is really full. And there you got it. You can put a little pop-up LED, of course, here, because they will come up. That's the thing. You can also fish it with a shorter rig straight from the LED, and it looks very attractive. Simple, but it's working well. So give it a try if a regular bait doesn't work. In the last meter range there are all as well ready rigs. So if you're not a rig man and you don't got the experience or whatever, you can choose from our ready rigs. They are perfect, they are tied very well, quality, top quality. And this is one, the stiff D rig in a Mirage 3D camo. It's 15 centimeters. And you can use this as well. It's like a D rig with a ring. And you can use this as well for the maggot clip. I'm going to show you now how it looks when it's attached. So just pull it out. I already took one out. Take the ring, put the maggot clip on, close it, and then you got it like this. It's way aggressive.
Absolute perfect hook hold. The XC7 hooks. Straight in the middle of that bottom jaw. And that's a reptilian coated braid to one of our new safe clips with a locking pin, so it discharges the lead straight away. And the combination of all those little pieces come together to put this little chap on the bank. But basically a bit of tungsten putty on the soft hinge bit, so as soon as the fish picks that up you can see it's very aggressive from any angle. And that little bit of weight's going to make that hook kick down into that bottom jaw. And then basically another piece just past halfway. So again, if my rig landed like that on the bottom, the weight of that's going to fold everything flat. So even if my rig's not out straight, it just keeps everything pinned down to the bottom. And it seems to be the rig that's been doing the business for me.
So I will just helping Rick putting his rod back out. I got a strange one. It was this beautiful animal anyway. Of course it's not what we're after, but it was a hell of a good fight, to be honest. So I'm more than happy with this.
Alright guys, so we are just approaching the last night of this French adventure. It has been a great week. Time has been running fast, a little bit too much actually.
Too fast.
Too fast. Yeah. Felix have left today because he had some other duty at home. So unfortunately he was almost avoiding blanking the last minute, but because we are fishing such a difficult condition, really long range with a lot of weed all around the lake, he lost the fish. So me and Rick, especially Rick, have been doing quite good in this area. Tony had some more problem because he was really fishing in a difficult swim. But yeah, all in all, we did our best.
Definitely, yeah.
That's all we can do, isn't it? That's all we can do. Yeah, it's been difficult for me. I've lost a couple of fish in the weed. But as I say, we've got another night yet, and not going to give up until the last minute.
Nope, never.
So fingers crossed.
Oh yeah.
That's all we can do, isn't it, really?
It has, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. You know, you can bring everything with you, all the gear that you need, but you never know what you ever actually need until you visit the lake. And we arrived here, you know, with basically sole purpose to be testing the new gear.
Yep.
And by God, this week has it had a test.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know, it has in the conditions that we're fishing. It ain't for the faint-hearted, to be fair.
No.
Definitely not.
It ain't. I mean, the hooks, the new XC series hooks that we've been testing, basically no one's opened a hook out this week.
They've been
You
brilliant.
know, and everything has basically gone to the extremes this week. You know, it has been unfortunate that some of the guys that who have been in here with our group this week, they've not had so many runs, you know, and some of us have. But that is fishing. That is fishing, you know, and it's not through hard trying. These guys have worked their backs off to try and get a bite this week.
We could have been fishing easier water.
Gotcha.
There would have been also a chance, but we decided to do some proper. I mean, let's say we have decided to complicate our life for this week
Yeah.
a little bit, but it's been a good test. I mean, a good experience.
No, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's been difficult. I've played around with the little comrods as well and had a bit of light-hearted fun with that on the little lake. That was really good fun. Enjoyed that. Got a smile back on my face. But yeah, well, as I say, I've tried again today. So fingers crossed for tonight. There's something will come along.
Something like 15 hours left, and then we see what happens, and then we see tomorrow morning.
The clock's ticking.
Yep.
There's no pressure.
Right. See you tomorrow morning.
Cheers.
Okay, so here we are finally at the end of the week, and it's been a good week, to be fair. It's been a very trying week. You know, the fishing has been on and off, but as friends, as work colleagues, we've had a very, very productive week. Testing some of the new last meter gear, the new rods, the new alarms, the new rod pods. So I would say, yeah, fishing's been slow, but a very productive week.
Yeah, on that way it has been a absolutely fantastic week. As we said previously, we've been also fishing a pretty hard environment. This lake full of weed and everything. We managed anyway to land some good fish. It has been hard for some of us especially, but yeah, I mean we were here mostly to test and try the new gear, and we did it in the best way possible. I think.
Definitely.
No, the rods, the new C3 rods, the COM rods, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Great company.
Good.
And yeah, it's been good. I'll have to come back, and I've got a score to settle with this place.
Yeah, you have.
Definitely.
Good.
Yeah,
So
it's been really good, really enjoyable. Thanks very much, guys. I've
Yeah,
really
no,
enjoyed
it's
thank
been
you.
it's been a pleasure to
Fantastic,
fish with all of you guys. So
Brilliant. And to be fair, that's the moral of every carp fishing story. To be fair, you know, you spend the time on the bank in a beautiful environment. Sometimes it's not just about catching; it's about the company that you're with. You know, and we've had a cracking time. You know, there's not been many fish, but the fish that we've had, we've shared them with good friends.
and a week to remember for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So and we hope you enjoyed the same as we did.
And thank you, Salva.
See you to the next one.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Cheers. Bye bye.
You've been tuned into TFTV. Tackle Fanatics stock an extensive range of tackle and bait from all the leading manufacturers. To check it out, go to www.tacklefanatics.co.uk. Remember, Tackle Fanatics also offer finance to make your tackle purchase more affordable. Tight lines and wet nets from everybody at TFTV.